Yeah, because like for me, it's like just learning the game and like just like I just want to have fun. Like if I pass, I pass. If I fail, I fail. That's okay. And he's telling me like, oh, you have to expect the kangaroos and then and like that way. I'm just like,
we're gonna be so happy that he calls them the kangaroos.
I have no idea what that even means. Like.
I think we are on.
Oh no!
Yes.
Yeah, yep. There we are. There we go. Whoops.
Say the intro.
Welcome to the Afflicted Partners cast. I'm TC.
I'm Shinobi.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Noah, or Catherine.
I'm Tony, aka Paranoia Boy.
AKA Shinobi's boyfriend.
AKA Shinobi's boyfriend.
And today on the Almost Perfect Cast, we're talking about our relationships and how they affect our playing of our dance games and how our dance games affect our relationships. So we brought on, we've got 3 couples here today because we just needed way too many guests and we had to have way too much complicated of a setup. No, really, it's because I saw all these people at Red October, and it was the most perfect, obvious idea for an incredible episode. It's something that I've never seen an open discussion about, even in any Discord channels, about how this game affects us. Because I don't know about you guys, but at least 3 or 4 of us here are addicts of this game, and that probably affects the way our lives go, and especially the people closest to us. There was stuff has happened. It's been a month since we did this podcast, and I'm the only one who's normally on this podcast, so I guess I have to like lead everything. There's been some news. Noah, what was that thing that Kyle teased this last week?
Well, he showed off a screenshot of what looks like a worldwide map with StepManiaX locations marked on it. I'm led to believe that this will be eventually available both on their website and in the mobile app. And it's, I think, piggybacking on data from the Xenius arcade database, but specifically just to StepManiaX machines. So there should be a much more user-friendly way of like finding a nearby machine to you if you're happen to be looking for one.
I got the impression too that there might be a second data input stream, like when people buy maybe dedicated cabinets or anything that can have a coin operated, anything that can have a payment process on it. Those can also potentially just go on a list. I'm not entirely sure, but they seem to imply in some of the wording on some of the communication I saw seemed to imply that there was going to be, it was going to list more than even Xenius did because it was going to collect something like some kind of opt-in from people when they bought machines, or possibly even people who've already bought machines if they have. That's where I'm getting the speculation, but it did seem like there's some form of second input stream that was not just Xenius.
Well, at the very least, Xenius already has a pretty comprehensive database. It's just not the easiest to use.
Especially if you just play that one game and you want to look it up, and yes, certainly a different interface built into the app. That's the other thing. Just so you know, I'm in this town. It's just bam right here. That's got to be super mega convenient.
Because being out of town, that'll never stop someone that dedicated.
Who's guilty of like being on a road trip and like just looking up machines and finding them and playing on them?
I have a layover that's 4 hours. Nearest round 1. There we go.
It's been known to happen. So I guess what else happened this last month? I guess there was a tournament. There was a tournament. So. Somebody won it. People were there.
There was a tournament.
Yeah. Some people were involved. Yeah. Red October happened. It was a big tournament. It was put on by a lot of people, me and Chesmix and Jelly Slosh and my girlfriend who's hiding off camera over here. And Kathaden was one of our big volunteers. I think we're gonna I think if we delineate like a staff versus not staff, like you'd be on the staff side. Gosh, there's a bunch. Like our volunteer channel had like 13 or 14 people in it, and they all contribute a lot to the event. And it went off super well. And we handed out like $7,500 in prizes, and 40 people showed up and competed. And we had over 40 hours total of competition time on pad. And there's a fly buzzing around my face. Let's see, we had a team tournament. We had a full tournament. We had the mild and wild tournament, which are going to get scrapped for waterfall next year. And it was really cool. There were after parties. I made speeches. It was great. Everyone else say how great it was. This is my dictatorship.
It was great.
Fun. Red's the perfect color, by the way. Just saying. So it's only right.
Red and October, two great things together.
Come on now.
But it was literally just the first tournament got named Red Bay, and then somebody started calling the first one in October Red October before we had an official name for it. And I thought it was funny, like, because there's that movie, The Hunt for Red October, and it just rolls off the tongue. And so I just named the tournament that, and it just never changed. If we do it again, if we ever have to move it, it's getting called Commotion. That's like the official name. Do not steal. Original idea, except it's not an original idea. You all read that comic when you were teenagers. Tony, you won the wild and full tournaments.
I did okay.
Yay!
Yeah.
You got the Kansas spray away with the number ones written on them.
I did, but we couldn't bring them on the plane, so I kept the tops though. So I still have the tops in here on my.
That's what matters. In the future, because we keep having that like issue come up, I think the goal is to just print out something that looks like a sprayway can, but is not a sprayway can. That you can just. It's a little bit smaller, a little more portable, so you can take it without taking up a significant, portion of the volume of your luggage.
I put the tops over there on my trophy case with all the Dance Game trophies. There's almost no more room left.
It's an ongoing joke because at Beast in the East, I was feeling really bad about how I was playing and everything. And I stepped out with one of my friends and I was like, this sucks because I did really bad in everything. And I bet you by the time we walk back in there, Tony will have won 3 trophies and talk about how he needs to make more room on his trophy corner. And as soon as we walked in, he goes, "Call me Tony 3 trophies. Got to make some room in that trophy corner."
And then she just started laughing. I'm just like, what? Like what I do? I had no idea.
Win.
Yeah. So yeah, it's up there now. Added to the collection. Thank you.
She's not the only person that placed that weekend. I'm pretty sure Shinobi placed second for her mild tournament, right?
This is true. I did.
And it was
it was so impressive. Like when I was there last year, there was maybe one female player, Eesa.
I think maybe Jen competed as well, but not. I don't really remember.
Many. Yeah, but there's a lot more turnout this year, and it was pretty amazing to see you guys play. Go girls!
I know. I felt so much conflict. I think it was the full tournament. Eesa and MCAT were playing against each other, and I was like, "Who do I root for?" Because I would always just root for the female player. I'm like, "What do I do now?"
Podcast co-host.
And then Eesa was playing Tony, and I was like, "Oh."
Anyways, there should be enough room for your trophy to go in that trophy corner.
I want my own trophy corner.
Exactly.
She's gonna have her own.
It's time for my trophy corner.
Next year it'll be something cuter. The goal was to have like little BU-44 statues, but I don't have a resin printer, so I kept trying to print it out on the other style one, and it did not work out. So I think we're just going to go with something easier with that. Yeah. Okay. So, gosh, we do it again next year. It might not be in October. It might not be exactly the same tournament. We're looking to have partnerships. We're looking to find ways to make it not just double in size next year, but maybe even quadruple in size. Stay tuned, but we'll have an announcement by the spring because you'll all have to know when it's going to happen, and it's going to happen by October next year, whatever it is. All I know is waterfall, 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 every tournament forever, waterfall. It's the best format. Once you have 40 dance gamers signed up, just make it waterfall. But we didn't know we were going to have 40, so whoopsie daisy, mild and wild. Everyone still had a great time. It was just a little more complicated, and you got a few fewer minimum number of songs in. Boo-hoo, I got washed out after 6 songs. So there was a song drop, right? That's how we time this podcast, by the way. Every month there's usually a song drop, and then we do a podcast.
It drops the day of the tournament.
Yeah.
Again.
What timing? Thanks, Step Revolution. I like when you guys do that. So yeah, the 5 songs came out, and now I have to look up what they're called, and I'm totally not prepared. Is someone else prepared?
Well, we got
some of them.
Some of them.
Stars.
we got
Out.
Do It Like That.
Eesa just knows them. Yeah, stars. Oh wait, I got them right on my screen. They're right in front of me.
Perfect.
Oh. Well, I have to sort. Oh no, I'm probably slamming noise at everyone.
I almost did the same.
Turn my game audio down.
Game audio's off.
Okay, cool. I'm not slamming game audio at everyone.
Hello, Prince.
All right, they are Y2Z, Stars, Blow Workout, Do It Like That, and Keep on Dancing. And this is like the 5th or 6th song drop in a row where we've had 5 songs. They're not doing 4 anymore. We're just getting more and more content because we all have to play like 30 charts if we want to keep up on the leaderboards. Who wants to highlight some of their favorite songs or charts from the drop? Who wants to like jump in there and go first?
You got one?
You do.
Stars.
Wild Bull.
Full, actually. Mostly because I played it, the day or a couple days after the tournament. I was like, ooh, new song. Ooh, full, what is it, 24 or
24.
Something? So I'm like, I'm going to attack this. So I played it a few times, and it really grew on me. It felt really good to play. Just overall fun chart. Great song. And I don't know if I still do, but I got the world record on it at the time. So it was fun.
I really like both the full and wild charts because it was one more 24 to be in the card draw. So we heard every other 24 in the card draw that many fewer times over the course of the weekend.
It's worth mentioning that's our
Thanks, Senpai.
second song from James Landino.
Yeah, we should get that guy on a podcast.
That would be pretty cool. I was completely unfamiliar with them until being introduced through StepManiaX, and I think I'm a fan already.
Yep.
It's a good song. It's also a rare drop that we got a new addition from Kyle's own arsenal, and we got that in Y2Z.
Rare drop.
Classic.
I really like that 22 wild chart. It just feels like just right. That's kind of in my comfort zone. And as people pointed out on the Discord, the audio sounds it's really strong, callback to the way Xenon sounded back in Extreme. It's just after I went back and replayed it after that, I was like, yeah, those are the vibes. So it's just quality song, quality chart.
I didn't hear it until I read that and then went back and played it, and it's super loud right in there. The chart for me of the whole drop was actually a low workout team who played through most of the team charts or all of them by now. Did you two
Did we play that?
Shinoboy?
I don't think we played
I don't think we played them yet.
I think we saw someone play it, or saw a couple people play it.
So here's why I love low workout team. It has this part where one of the players at any given time will be just totally taking control of the entire stage like a full chart, and the other player will be constantly swept off in both directions, where they'll have to they'll be pushed off in this direction, and their next step will be on the other stage, and it'll be like a 3-point stomp.
Bam.
And then you've just got to run, and then you're immediately pushed back off, and you're going on this side. And it's my favorite chart because I couldn't do that because I'm gigantic, and I do not have the cardiovascular system as Eesa, who I was playing with. So I developed a way, because my first thought is I come through the bars, but my hips are still a little too wide. I crash into them all the time. So I ended up doing this, and I encourage everyone to do this forever because it's the best way to do this chart. When you come through there, just jump down on it, and it's the most satisfying chart in the entire game. Best chart ever.
And she liked it so much that I've now heard it so many times that just a few opening notes are going to haunt my dreams forever.
Yeah, hey, that's what this episode's about. Being tired of your partner playing this game.
Not necessarily.
Hey, what was your favorite chart?
I don't think I've had one from this job. I didn't like the songs as much, and that's really how I evaluate whether or not I enjoy things.
That's fair.
It's about the music. It's about the music.
It is a dance game.
Play low workout full plus.
All right. Any other charts anyone wants to share about? Normally we have an order when there are 3 or 4 of us, not when there are 6 of us. This is the most ensemble we've been, except for when we all round tabled around a microphone after the last Red October.
Which one is the one that has to slow down at the end?
I think that's Keep On Dancing.
Keep On Dancing.
Yeah.
And it has the swing gallops on every difficulty except for easy and beginner.
And they're slowing down to tell you not to keep on dancing.
Yeah, keep on dancing, but slow down though. So slow down here, but keep on dancing.
It makes you move a lot. Every one of those charts has a lot of twisting and motion. I like that about it.
Oh, they're fun until you play that one and you're trying to APC it, and then the end happens.
I think I really like the Keep On Dancing just to listen to, though. It's a really catchy little song.
It is super catchy.
See, you did like one.
I liked it the first 5 times.
Because it's really hard to tie.
I will like it again in a month or 2.
Yeah, the swing timings, you don't get those for free.
All right, so I guess that's it for the song drop. Guys, this is actually an intervention. It's my intervention. I brought you all here today because this game is consuming my life, and it's Oh, hi, Jelly Slosh. Speaking of people who are valid guests to come on this episode of the show. People whose lives are consumed by this dance game and their partners. And 2 of them who are both partners. So, welcome. I guess we got the idea for it. I think all of you have heard me privately say this 100 times, but it was before Red October when I had suggested making our partners play each other. If your partner doesn't have a high leaderboard rank at all, it would be fun to see if I could get, my partner TC and Catherine, your partner Julie, and we could get half a dozen of them together to see who could get a good improvement or something, because you don't really want to do skill because somebody's actually played the game more than the others. But you could probably get some kind of fun out of just the social engagement of getting people to play. And that spiraled into a joke about running a support group with coffee and donuts on the 2nd floor of the arcade, which turned into this episode because that's a really interesting topic of just how much we play. And you've heard me say this 5 times already, all of you. I'm so sorry. I'm a broken record. Let's actually talk about it, because we started to have this conversation at the arcade, and I told everyone to put pins in it because it was just too interesting. Who wants to start?
Wife has opinions.
Yeah, apparently she has opinions.
All right, I'll try to seed the conversation a little bit. I guess there's varying degrees to which, even on this call, that our various significant others are either just kind of loosely interested in participating in playing StepManiaX, or like actively playing it versus actively like being competitive at it. I think we've got like somebody representing maybe each one of those points along the spectrum. I'm curious, like, I'll just start with you, Julie. Like, I think you started out being like not super interested in dance games, and then found yourself like warming up to them over time.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't say I wasn't interested in dance games. It's just more like they were really hard. Like when you go to the arcade, when they're like expensive to play and you have like no idea how to play them because it's all in Japanese. And so having you around to kind of show me like, oh, this is how you unlock the cool songs, or like this is how you like adjust your speed
to get into the secret settings menu.
Yeah, so having you around was definitely basically kind of like opening the doors for Woodling Mates, because I always thought they were cool because like all those DDR songs, they're all really catchy, you know. So I always liked them, but I wouldn't be able to play them just because it was too hard to, and it was too difficult for me to understand.
Sure, yeah.
A good comparison. Okay, so yeah, that's a great way to feed into this, because all of us have a very different engagement with our partners and this game. TC basically met me. I was already obsessed with this game. Red October was something I was running. The podcast was something I was already doing. TC's not that into the. How would you describe how you're into the game? Like, you're into the game, not so much playing it.
I haven't had a lot of time to play it so much. We've been crazy busy lately. And it's one of those things like I would like to explore a little bit more to get more into your hobby. But no, it took you until pretty recently to realize that you were so into it sometimes that like you were translating some of the dance game like gibberish like that Julie was kind of describing of like, this is really difficult to understand. But like you were going through it so fast that sometimes it did feel like, I think you put it as like, oh, I'm speaking Simlish, aren't I?
Yeah.
And it's like, sometimes it's nice to be reminded of like, this is Simlish. If you slow down, I can enjoy it so much more and engage with you.
Yeah, I can totally relate when Noah and Zephyr were talking about the tournament at Red October. They were just going at it, and I was just kind of like, "Oh my god, this is all."
Oh yeah, she's explained waterfall a couple times to me, and I very loosely understand. But every time she comes up with like a little adjustment, I'm like, "You please talk to Jelly Slosh about this."
There will be an entire episode with Jelly Slosh about explaining waterfall in our tournament format for next year. Don't worry, it'll be an entire episode.
I don't know. I'm so lost, and I can only be so following.
But one of the ways you super engage with this as my hobby with me is like participating in like the events I do with it, the technical aspects of it. You're constantly tinkering with my sound equipment, just like trying to give me little edges with the cheap garbage sound equipment I have. But
my professional background, for those who don't know, is in events organization, event running, and sound design. I come from a theatrical background, but I've done all kinds of stuff. So this was a really fun way to engage with it, is like video streaming is a new medium I haven't gotten to touch much. So it is really fun to engage in like, oh, how does this work? How does this fit into it? Like one of the things I realized is, wow, Twitch compresses audio super weird from a board, or just not in a way that I'm used to accommodating for. So that is actually something that's really fun to engage with, of like trying to figure out how that works, because it's going to be a new thing in my field. You know, we have live streamed events all the time that we're going to have to account for.
And this is not the first event you did. You also, like, right when we met, jumped straight into helping set up for Games Done Quick.
We had been together for like 2 or 3 months at that point.
And a very different way to engage with, you know, your partner in this game would be Shinoboy, because you both play this game. You both have a partner that's super into this game and is super good at this
Do
game.
we?
Yeah.
Do we? I'll be getting off work, and as soon as I open that door, say hey to the cats, and all I hear in the background just. I'm like, oh Lord. I'm like, I come in and it's like, yeah, I know that song sucks, doesn't it? She's like, yeah. She's already working. Like, she plays, honestly, more than I do at this point. It's crazy. But I love it.
Yeah, I started playing StepManiaX only recently, though. Before that, well, I met him through, I played Pump for a few years. So I would, we already had one stage, StepManiaX stage, and he was talking about wanting to get a monitor, and I was like, I'll pay for the other stage, because I was really only interested in team stuff, because I really like co-ops and Pump. And then I just ended up getting interested in all the harder charts I saw him playing on like Wild and stuff. I was like, oh, it's actually kind of cool. So the biggest hurdle for me has been learning timing, which is only mildly frustrating to be dating an actual metronome of a human being, because I'll be like, I don't understand this. And he's like, no, it's just da, 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 da. And I'm like, but I did that. And he's like, no, it's like this.
But look how much you've improved since then. Like, seriously.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to be able to enjoy the same hobby together, though admittedly frustrating that I can't perform at it as well as my partner can.
But you keep growing. And it's beautiful, too, because we did meet through this, but this is like the other, piece that really like put it all together for us. Horror movies and stuff, other interests.
Aw.
Yeah, I assume most people that are together in dance games, that's not the primary interest that brought them together. Like, our primary interest is outside of this. It's in like LGBT, and we met at an LGBT event. Julie, Noah, I'm guessing dance games are not the primary way you two engage with each other.
No, we met through mutual friends, but enough of my life is oriented around dance games that they were definitely present pretty early on. One of our maybe second dates was probably to round one, so it's always been there somewhere in the background.
Oh yeah,
I guess
ours wasn't a surprise.
I mean, we literally met through this hobby, so that's always been like the connecting hobby initially for us.
So,
but then
go ahead. No, so yeah, for you two, it was the primary thing. That was the initial contact point.
We met through Pump. Well, yeah, I've always just played Pump, so I met him at Dave & Buster's playing Pump, and when we had DDR before they hated us and threw it somewhere else.
Well,
so before Zephyr and I had even been on a date, one of the ways that she was flirting with me online was by sending me Twitch highlight clips.
Very
clearly it worked.
Yeah,
it worked.
Yeah.
I did not think of that.
Showing off, like, just I'm very athletic. I need you to know, like, I
think you were explaining to me how the game worked, but at that point I was just like, this is total Simlish. You have a hobby that's amazing.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear how everybody's talked about like learning the game through their partners and how like navigating that can be, because I didn't have to do that. I already did this before, so it's interesting to hear that perspective.
Oh, it's given me such a strange way of like learning to play the game, because I have barely played, but I can read more than I feel like I should be able to, because she spends a lot of time explaining what she's reading on those higher levels that I'm like, I'm never getting that high up.
That's totally correct. Normally when you like build your way through the game, there is a constant back and forth of the hardest part of a chart is reading it versus the hardest part is physically executing it. And you're going to be stuck on just physically executing it forever. And your brain is going to be bored going all the way up to like wild.
Yeah, because there is like a certain point at which there was like a flip in my brain, that like a switch in my brain that flipped. And it was like, oh, this makes sense now.
Right. You read it like sheet music, or your brain is interpreting it the same way like anyone who would, because yes.
And it came way before ever like physically getting into it, which is just a wild experience to go backwards.
A lot of people who watch my streams have that too.
No, really?
Yeah, right. That's because that's how you engage with it, is watching me play it on my stream. Sorry. All right, so what conflict points? I will bring up our conflict points first. I spent a lot of time on this game. I spent a lot of time talking to other people. I have a hard time not talking about this game constantly, in the car, going to bed, in the shower, everywhere. I can't not talk about this game. Does that affect any of you guys? Especially curious about, well, Julie and both Shinoboy.
Oh man, conflict points. Okay, it's on me. It's definitely on me.
Dragging you to too many tournaments?
No, I love to go to tournaments, actually. I love to be there, and I love to compete. But
I like interacting with people. I like talking to people. People like to talk to me. I'm a very friendly person, and I like to listen. And I know a lot of people, like a whole lot of people.
try going to any event with him, and try to start a conversation, because if you say if I can't get halfway through most of my sentences without somebody being like, "Paranoia boy, what's up, man? How you been, bro? Oh my god, it's been forever." And I love that everybody loves him. I think that's so cool because he deserves it. He's awesome. He's great. He's succeeds at everything, and he deserves the attention. But there will be points where I just would like to hang out. Like at Beast in the East, like I said, I was feeling really sad. I was feeling really down on myself. I was dealing with a couple of things mentally. There was a point where we were walking through the tournament area, and I started tearing up, like crying a little bit. And it was very visible. But somebody just walked up, and while I was in the middle of explaining what was wrong with me to my partner, somebody's just like, "Oh, hey, Paranoia boy, did you see the score I got in my tournament?" I'm like,
oh. Not right now. just give me a sec.
So, I mean, I love that we both do the same thing, and I love how good he is at it and how much attention he garners. But we're polar opposites on the social spectrum. So I think that's where our biggest conflict comes in, because I'm very to myself and he's very to everyone else. So being like somebody who's always just been pretty average at dance games, dating somebody who's always been like at the top of dance games is taking getting used to. But honestly, in a way, it helps a lot because it's helped me push to try to prove that I can be good too. So I've been trying a little harder, and I've also been trying to be more social at events and meeting more people. So I guess conflict point-ish.
I'm helping.
So we don't take that kind of self-effacement here. You are not. What are the things that dating another dance gamer or dating a dance gamer does to you? Is it gives you a very skewed perspective on what a good dance gamer is. If you're on this podcast, you're probably better than the average person who's ever played a dance game. TC, you've passed a 12 or 2. That's about.
I haven't quite passed a 12 yet.
Yeah, that average dance gamer, that's about where they ever capped out, or at least casual person who interacted with the game. A person who actually went to the arcade once every week or two in high school for 6 months or a year. They cap out at somewhere in the middle of hard difficulty, which is probably about where Julie's at right now.
Oh no, please, she's leveled up a lot this year.
Oh! Should she have been in Miles? Did we miss out?
I don't think she would have seeded very well, but she's been just working on clearing, and she's almost cleared everything through the 22s at this point.
Okay, so yes, could have definitely been in there. Okay, you get my point. Yeah, we have this mindset of, this person is just really good, and Shinobi, your partner there, one of the top 5 players of this game right now currently. Arguably the best if you look at tournament performance. It's him and Spencer right now. So you kind of got a skewed perspective here. Like, you are still the dance game 0.1%. You're just dating the 0.01%.
I don't know. I suppose I will say it. Like I said, it helps me feel more motivated to improve. So I'll take it. Pump's always been my thing, but I've always been scared to learn a new game. But this game in particular, learning it, I've been super motivated from not just him, but from everybody I've met. It's been a lot of fun. So I'll take it.
I would say Noah is kind of the opposite because he's very much a behind the scenes type of person. So even with Red October, he was kind of like there for like all like 3-4 days, and he was always kind of like in the back running the stream. And like for me, it was just kind of like, oh, he's busy. I kind of learned to like make sure I keep myself entertained either by like finding like other things to do, or inviting my friends over so I can hang out with them, or like just hanging out with the crowd over there. But like, no one will probably never run into that problem that you have, Shinobi.
Speaking of that, let me see if I can find it real quick. It's really funny, actually, because you can get a peek at this on the Red Note Instagram. When the tournament first started, and they were posting pictures of the tournament, just posting a bunch of pictures of everybody at the venue at the start of the tournament, and you can see this like small circle of people formed around Tony, and me sitting behind him, very frustrated that they're all standing around Tony. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this photo.
Can you post it into the stream chat and people in stream chat can click on it? Can you make a link to it?
Yeah.
Live podcasting.
Live.
I wonder if it'll send this exact image, or because it's like a strand of images.
And Word will throw it on YouTube. Oh, putting some editing in.
Oh, I looked it up on my phone. I'm sorry, that's a hysterical image. Knowing the context, I'm sorry, that's kind of funny. Because I've had that exact same feeling, not for necessarily the social aspect, but for the like, we've been in this arcade setting up for like 4 or 5 to 8 hours. Like, I need 5 minutes of your time. And you are still talking to somebody else about setup.
Or just
it's so funny. I had no idea.
That's somebody who's into StepManiaX and I need to say hello for the first time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, why do you think I do these tournaments and run this podcast and do all these events? It's to meet people who play StepManiaX. So, of course, I'm going to drop everything I'm doing in the middle of my important event to say hello. What else would I do?
It started with like 2 people. And 3.
It was just even funnier because I specifically sat at the couch kind of away from where everyone was. And he was just like, oh, let me go sit next to my girlfriend real quick. And then 2 seconds in, oh, Paranoia Boy, do you remember me?
The tech, Tony, is to just put her between you and them. And then they have to interact with Shinobi. I'm sure that will never go wrong when she doesn't want to talk to them.
No.
I think the biggest thing too is my base, like my default skin is I think I just look upset. So even when I'm not upset, people kind of just bypass me and go to Tony because he just looks like a fun dude. And
there's the picture, right?
Yeah, it's so good.
It's accurate. Like, just that picture just says everything.
Realistically, I would like to be friends. You guys can say hi to me. I'm just scared of everyone.
Can you not say hi to anyone at a dance game tournament? I feel like that's pretty tough to not be able to just approach someone and say, hello, have we met? You have a common interest.
This is true. I think I actually accidentally did it to Word. at the tournament. I never said hello. I never introduced myself, but you were eating like a burrito, and I just went, "What you got there?" And that was my introduction. And I'm sorry.
It's hard saying hi, especially because like. Sorry, especially because this community is pretty small and tight. So when you're like an outsider looking in, it's like, oh shoot, I don't know how to like put myself in there, and because like for me it's like I'm a nobody to everyone, you know. So I get it. It's hard to say hi.
Yeah,
I know how you
especially
feel,
when people
but it's
can't
not
figure
fair.
out why you're there. A lot of people were super confused as to who the f- I was and why I was there. Sorry, I know I'm not supposed to swear. Oops.
Because I'm married. Like, I have 2 partners, and most everyone there has met my wife. So nobody understands why TC is there until they see us interacting. And then they just get a little more confused for a while until someone explains it to them. So yes, there's always that first like 2 hours of what is going on here.
2 hours. I felt like it was the first 2 days. Like Thursday, Friday, I can see a lot of people like trying to like suss out, asking like, "And you're here why?" Very politely.
Just tell them you're getting paid. Tell them you're the only person there getting paid.
Dark Beam in the chat there is actually the friend that witnessed the Tony 3 trophies thing happen, because that's who I was crying to about not doing well. So shout out to the bestie in chat right now.
To return to like the stress points, there's definitely one that's come up repeatedly between Julie and I where I just want to like encourage her and like give her the best shot at like doing well on these charts that she's like working through, all the 22s and occasionally attempts at a 23, and we'll load into the song and I'll be like, all right, so it's gonna like go down to half BPM, and then it's gonna have a pause, and then it'll go back to full BPM, and you just got to be ready for it when it. So there's the crossover into the, and then she's already like shut me down and had to be reminded again. No, just let me play the game.
Yeah, because like for me, it's like I'm still like just learning the game and like just kind of getting introduced to the game, and I just kind of want to play it. See, like I just want to have fun. Like I don't want to be like super invested in it. Like if I pass, I pass. If I fail, that's okay. And he's telling me like, oh, you have to expect the kangaroos, and then you gotta and like that way, I'm just like,
we're gonna be so happy that he calls it the kangaroos.
I have no idea what that even means. Like, so a lot of times I just have to let him like go finish his sentence, and I'll be like, okay. or sometimes when I'm like not in a good mood, and I'll be like, stop it, just let me play it.
He's literally stopped telling me stuff to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm also like, I just have to play it. I just have to figure it out. I just have to learn it myself. If somebody tells me how to do something, it just frustrates me and makes me not want to do it. I'm that type of person. So anytime he tells me, this actually backfired in the tournament too. Because literally like 4 days before the tournament, he was like, you should learn this chart, because if it pops up in the tournament, you're going to want to know it. It was Sweet World 22. Mm-hmm. I had never played it. And I was like, I don't want to play that. And I swiped and played something else. And then Zom picked Sweet World 22 on me, and I lost.
And then like 5 people got COVID too.
Yeah, but like I know Noah's coming from like a good place. Like he always wants me to do better. I only started like playing, I guess, like more seriously this year, because like before I would only play like hard charts. Like Zephyr was saying, we just kind of play like level 12, 13, 14s, you know? And then this year I was like, you know what? Let's try to like pass all the level 19s by the end of the year, and let's see how that goes. And then within a month, I was like, done. Which was surprising because I didn't think I could do it. And so then I was like, okay, let's pass all the 20s. And then it happened. And then now I'm up to the 22s. I have like maybe 5 songs that I haven't played at all. And like a couple more that I failed.
And then you're gonna do it on duel, and then
yeah. So
Fill it all out.
at this point, I'm just kind of like the 22s are and the 23s are where I just kind of like these songs suck. Like I'm not meant for this. So I'm like going back to the 19s and like seeing like if I can replay them, and I like seeing like the score bumps. And the only reason those scores are getting better is because I'm having Noah play with me, and like Shinobi was saying, like when you play with a person that plays better than you, their timing is a lot better, and so you can hear the correct.
the metronome.
Exactly.
You can hear the footsteps.
metronome.
You can hear the footsteps, and you just kind of get better that way. So definitely playing with a better person makes you better. But also
Tony
playing a lot
is
more
such a
against you.
good metronome. You can play team with him, and your scores will be better than when you normally play team. And that happened. Like we played one team chart, and I'm like, that's my PB on that chart, and I played that with like other friends, I play it regularly. But that timing, so good. That straight line.
Appreciate it. And we got our first team APC. What was that like yesterday?
Like 2
Wow.
days ago or
Whoa,
something.
congrats.
Nice.
Yeah, but
But if
I'm
you
not
actually
really-
watch the video, there's like 4 times that he saved me. So.
You saved me. We worked together.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
So for anyone watching that doesn't know what they mean by that, all of the way judgments work in the game, and this works even on team mode. If there's like a jump, just if you're a single player, if you've got a left-right jump, it only calculates the judgment on the last one of those you hit. So if you hit one early and you hit the other in the absolute perfect window, it's just rated as an absolute perfect. Whereas if you hit one in the absolute perfect window and one as a late, it's a late. And that when you're on team, like every step is like that across both players. So even if it's player 1 down and a player 2 has an up on that side, they're still someone describe this better. I cannot use my words right now.
I think the terminology you're looking for is a chord, where you have multiple steps happening on the exact same point in the song. And every single chord is judged by the last step out of all of them that is registered.
Yeah, that's way better. Did that sound like Simlish? Julie TC? Just a little? Okay.
So to save someone is you have somebody hitting early, and then the other player completing their side of the chord hits right on time. So you get that absolute perfect judgment.
Senpai in the group, the chat says my wife plays a bit early. That's me. I play early all the time. Then Noah's there, saving the day.
Hold up. If you try to slam a door when 4 people are running through, it only hits the last one in the butt. Wow. I mean, yeah. There you go.
That is an analogy, Telperion. So, some non-friction points. Sometimes this game is really fun to do things with. When we brainstorm stuff together, it's a blast. We came up with the Wheel of Pain as like just fun things to do as a diversion from playing the game seriously, and that was one of the most fun creative exercises to not just engage with at the arcade and at the brunch after party at my house, but just coming up with the ideas and talking about them with the other volunteers. That's a fun thing to like.
Yeah, it's just built out of how we sometimes engage with the game to both have fun while you're practicing more seriously.
Right. Yeah. You build up things you don't normally do. Like sometimes it's the equivalent of like making yourself do something you don't normally do. I say equivalent. That's exactly what it is. And doing it in that fun environment was a blast. And getting to do a thing together that's just like planning a thing around the hobby is I don't know. Do you two really enjoy Shinoboy planning your trips when you go to a dance game tournament together? Is that like a really fun thing to engage about?
We kind of just wing it.
For the most part, yeah. Because if we know it's like, oh, we're going to a dance game tournament. Where is it? Oh, it's in Vegas. All right, cool. We're going to go to the strip. We're going to do this. it was just, we're going to go in this area. And when we did, everything just kind of fell into place. We would just see something, be like, ooh, let's go in there. And that was over the course of the whole day, actually. So we don't even perfectly plan things out. We just know that it's going to work out, you know?
Does it help that all the after parties just invite you? So if there is one, you're going to be there?
I love after parties of seeing people and talking, and there's food there, and there's music and dance games. But then that's a lot going on, a lot of loudness that a certain someone's not really big on.
Okay, look.
Hey,
What he doesn't see is the whole 48 hours that he's still competing because he wins everything or is top 3 in everything. I'm sitting there following around, especially at stuff like Beast in the East where there's multiple game tournaments. I follow him from game to game. I carry his stuff. I'm like, here, eat a banana. You want some more water? I sprint down the convention hall to get him water. I sprint back. Whole time I'm watching him for this whole weekend, people are like, oh, yo, he's doing really good. How's he been lately? I'm like, oh, yeah, he's been great. All this talking, all this running around, that when it's over, I don't want to anymore.
Yeah,
it's
changing his tires and filling up his gas tank all weekend.
Oh yeah, there was a moment during Red October where we would finally crash for in bed, ready to go to sleep, lights off, everything's dark. Good night, love you. And then she just started babbling about some message she had to send in the morning. And in that moment, I've never been closer to smothering her with a pillow. Because I'm like, no, we need to disengage from this for a minute. Tournament weekend is exhausting. I've been in that arcade for days on end in a box.
Sometimes I'll just wake up after a really long night, really long day of work the prior morning, and I'll be like, tomorrow let's just relax, let's have a date day together. Okay, I'll wake up and I'll hear tick, 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 tick. He's watching a step chart on his phone. I'm like,
I wanted to figure out what was wrong in this section. I messed up.
I understand the being just so overstimulated and so overwhelmed. I think when I met you, when I met Shinoboy, just the shorthand. It's a great team name. It's a great portmanteau. I will use it forever. I was that whole weekend I had sunglasses on inside of the convention space with noise canceling headphones on most of the time because these spaces just get so loud. Even Red October was super loud. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I get it. There's a reason at my after party, the only thing making noise is the StepManiaX machine, and it's turned down to a respectable volume, and the people. But there is no other music going on.
People are allowed to talk.
There's quiet outside space. There's quiet dining area space.
Everybody write down.
You could just have a quiet room, to just chill in,
I had to go crash midway through the party, and I couldn't hear any noise upstairs.
I am the kind of ADHD where only I get to make the noise, and if I'm not making the noise, I don't want to hear it. So we've got to. I'm walking by those machines. I'm like, gosh, I wish I could turn that down, especially because we couldn't pick up the foot taps during October, and that drove me nuts. But everyone wants to play it loud because it's a dance game, and hey, everyone had a great time. So
we'll brainstorm some more solutions for next year.
We got plans. Don't worry. What sorts of positive things can you think of? I guess there are the dates, right? There's the fun. Just I'm taking you to a thing and showing you a thing that Noah and Julie you get to do. I guess that part of it's over now that Julie is a competent dance gamer at this point. What's do you have a version of that? Something where you get to just do this fun thing together, where it's not necessarily the game itself, but where you get to maybe an aspect of coming to Vegas that was really a blast.
The Vegas thing. Well, I can let you speak to what kind of positive experiences you took out of Vegas, since I spent half of it back in the control room.
So going back on the Vegas planning, I do all the planning. I make sure we have rides, we have hotel, that it's in our budget, what restaurants are we going to eat at, because Shinobi takes care of your boyfriend. Noah doesn't plan anything. He's very much like you guys, where he's just kind of I'll go. and I'll be there, but like there's no plan at all. So I'm in the background just making sure everything's kind of like set for all of us, because we don't want to starve. But the tournament was very, very well run, and it was very fun for me. Like, even though it's not like my thing, like it's definitely something that I do enjoy with Noah, as not to the extent that he does, of course, but like being able to kind of do something with him in Vegas like that's always a treat.
And dance games for us, like even if you're like kind of a accomplished, like you found like a challenge course for yourself to like work through passing all this stuff, and so you're like into it for your own reasons now, but like it's invaded other parts of our lives as well. Like when we've gone on vacation to earlier this year to Japan, to Indonesia, to Hawaii, we've started making a point to, if we can, find an arcade somewhere that has some kind of rhythm game so that we can like just put a pin in the map somewhere. Like, we played games here. We played games here.
Yeah, that was more because my main hobby is I play badminton. And so then for me, it's like my personal goal to be like, I played here, and then the playing DDR or StepManiaX was kind of like added as like an afterthought. But yeah, of course, that can count. Shinobi was saying earlier how like she would ask Tony like how to do a certain part in the song better. I'm not at that point. I'm just still kind of just like playing the songs. Like Noah will try to teach me like foot switching and like, I don't know, the
crossovers.
Yeah, those. I'm just like, nah, I'll do it my way and then I'll learn the correct way later.
Crossovers.
Yeah, I'm a big avid not crossover person. So
no.
I'm with you. I'm a little better at doing them in this game though, but in Pump I don't turn in Pump.
Not a single crossover turn.
Yeah, you're not the first that I heard complain about his female partner who doesn't do enough of the turns. A nameless person who was also at the event was talking about how his partner, when she goes up to play, she just brute forces everything. So as long as she can time it, she 99s it, and that is why. Well, gosh, I don't want to narrow it down too much, but why she did so well the way she did on certain charts. And it was just it is very funny how we will criticize our partner's style of play in the way of just the decisions you make on how you play. I just disagree so much, and it's funny because most of it is we're just responding to how our bodies play the game efficiently. Like it's probably an issue of like rotational momentum and like how your muscles are shaped and like how your body fat distribution is and your height and all those things, but you're like, you're doing it wrong. You're not playing it the optimal way.
You're not playing it like me.
Yeah.
You've never come up like that.
My
when you're
hips are
explaining how I'm playing.
straight. My hips
There's
are
a funny random tidbit too.
Yeah, but
though,
you wait till the end, and then you're like, oh, well, you could do this piece of tech this way. And sometimes it's simlish, and sometimes it makes sense. But if I've stumbled into it on my own, you get very excited.
I think before we were dating, when we would just randomly see each other at Dave & Buster's sometimes, he would only ever show up randomly when I was intentionally doing charts wrong for fun. So it was just like every time he saw me, like I was playing the End of the World 20 in Pump, which is where you have to like keep hitting the center panel and then hit all this other stuff around you. I was sitting on the center panel and playing with my hands. That was one of them. Just stuff like that all the time. One time he walked in, I was playing Ugly D15, the double, which is all holds. So me and my friend were just sitting there on our hands and knees, and I triple S'd it, like stuff like that.
I just walk in like.
I'm taking notes on how to capture a world-class dance gamer. Okay, the Shinobi way.
Yeah, do it wrong so that they're intrigued enough to find out why.
That's how you stand
Ugly
out.
D15 random step. Yeah, I don't recommend that. Or I do. It really just depends on you as a person, and you can figure it out yourself.
It's just Twister. You're playing Twister by yourself.
You Twister at home.
Oh God, what's wrong with y'all?
On VJ.
Yep.
Oh.
The pump players in here. Well, we'll get back to it.
It's been fun, like switching between Pump and StepManiaX now, though, because I do cross over in StepManiaX because you kind of have to a lot of the time. But in Pump, I don't. So when I was transitioning between the games, I was having a really hard time because I was like, what do I do? Do I stand straight or do I turn?
I say, welcome to my world.
You do whatever you can do, especially on the full charts. Sometimes they just expect you to cross back and forth so fast. There's no doing the turn with it. Unless you're Tony. I went back and I've looked at some of those last, like those top 8 matches, and you do them all, and I don't understand. Like your legs must be like 5 pounds each. That's the only they're made out of some.
We're not sure gravity applies to you.
Something is weird about your body, and we need to study it.
But it's also like the way you read it and think about it, because like for me, it's like Rye Steve says, like it hurts your brain. Yes, like I don't understand what is up or to the left anymore if I turn my body.
It took me years and years and years of GDR play before like turning myself sideways to really execute the crossover wouldn't just like confuse me for like the next 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
They mentioned someone said everybody's jaw dropped at my pivots in 403 full plus. Right, it just felt good to play on those machines, honestly. I don't know if you felt any difference, whatever, but like our pads are like they feel less sensitive than the ones there.
Do you have the rubber corners?
One of them does, and the other doesn't.
Oh, you really? Those should be the same. Yeah.
See?
The corner rubbers should be on both of your stages.
Yep. So when I played there and I did like those patterns and stuff, like I just felt good. I'm like, I can do things here. It's nice.
Wait, so you get your at-home scores on a stage where corner rubbers, not corner rubbers.
Correct.
Yeah, one of them came with the rubber corners, and the other one.
You know they're only like $40 from Step Revolution, right? Like all you need is the Allen wrench and like a little bit of time.
She actually plays on the side without the rubber corners, and she's been doing great.
I like it.
So I'm like, I'm just gonna leave this here.
I think Eesa also plays that way, and she plays like she loves doing it on full and prefers her home setup that's like that. There's still a few players that like that, and it's because it's less bouncy, right? Because it's more like a flat feeling.
It's definitely less bouncy.
Is that why you prefer it?
Oh, for me, I don't.
Yeah.
They don't feel that.
It doesn't
different.
feel that different to me. I think for me, it's the sound. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it sounds better to me while I'm playing.
Louder.
I feel like I have better control. Yeah, it's louder, and I can hear my steps better.
Very clacky sound. So when you're going from a left pad to right pad on pool, it's just like. You
can hear it too when you're streaming. Sometimes you can hear the difference in the size.
Seriously.
I got squeaks on this side, and you can hear it when I stream on full sometimes.
See? Yo, that's real.
Okay. I think we're starting to peter out. Who else has something they want to share before I call the episode and we all move along until the secret Halloween song drop or whatever?
Let me see. More little tidbits. More stuff that's on me. I might get off work a little earlier than usual, so I'll have like a little time to play, like very, very little. And you want to like watch a movie or something, or get some food. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna play just a few songs. Just a few, like just to fill these scores in. Like I have a couple songs in mind, and like 2.5 hours will pass.
I have self-control when I play. You do not have self-control.
Because I'm like, look, I'm number 7 in the world right now. If I play a few songs, I'll be number 6. Then I'll be like, you know what? Number 5 is actually not far. If I play a few more.
He can't just take it. Literally today too, I came home from work and he was in here playing. I was like, we have to do this podcast. He was like, oh yeah.
TC, I can't help you with that right now. I need to grind my qualifiers a little bit more.
Last night I had to finish the song drop so that before I went out, and I was late to an event.
Your own event.
My own event.
I think literally the other day I got a text message from like one of our local boba shops that there was like a discounted price up until like they closed at 9 p.m. and we were planning on going out to dinner. I was like, yeah, let's go out to dinner and then afterwards let's go get boba. And he's like, yeah, boba closes at 9. We were gonna go to dinner first. He didn't stop playing till like 7:30. I was like,
I got some pretty good scores.
oh, did you? I hope it was worth my boba.
I did have boba last night. That was my event. I did make it. The store wasn't closed yet. I got a free one because it was my event.
And I'll come, like, I'll finish the session and I'll be like, I like kind of upscored this thing, but no new APCs. I still only have the 3 that I had, but it's okay. I'll take the upscores. And he's like, yeah, upscores are all that matters. Every time he finishes a session, I got 9 new APCs. I got like flagged like 1 or 2 other songs. I got a world record. I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
I think I'm done now.
Do I share a lot after I get a good session in? Is that a problem sometimes?
No, you just send me the highlights and you're like, and this, and this, and this. But that's cute. The way you do it is not like obsessive. That is the one thing where you are actually not very obsessive.
I love her scores more than she does. That's the thing, though.
That's true. Whenever I do something cool, I'm just like, and he'll be in the background like, woo!
Oh, you got your first APC? She was just sitting there kind of smiling a little bit.
I'm like,
man, I popped off. I'm jumping all over the room. I'm like on the
That's
wall.
a big deal, especially coming from Pump. Yeah, I was playing this game for a year and a half before I got my first APC.
See? Like,
yeah,
it's not
and
easy.
I played ITG for cumulative 5-7 years. So yeah, you got to have some precision, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Yeah, congrats. I don't have one.
Neither do I.
yeah, I have 2 on hard and 1 on wild, but that's it.
And a team one.
Oh, yeah, and a team one, yeah. Now we have a team one.
I think that's a really cool advantage to like people who do get into the game more with their partner and people who are like partners because they are existing in the game, is that you get to understand why that's so good. Because like when your target started changing, for like, okay, I want to 98 these songs, I want to 99 these ones, and I'm like, I don't know the difference or why. Like it took me a while to catch on. And so you'd get really excited or really disappointed. And I'm like, I see 90 plus on all of these. That looks good to me. I don't get why you're so upset.
Yeah, that's true. Like he'll get a really good score on something. It'll be like 2 perfects. And I'll be like, ooh, good job. And he'll be like,
yeah, she'll be really mad on like something she's trying to 98 and she'll be like, I have a 94. And I'm like, that seems close. I think you did well.
I think as the more like average player, like APCs are something like that's like kind of unachievable for me. Maybe not for Noah, but definitely for me. Like so, like I guess like when I get 5 stars, that's when like Noah will be really happy for me, and I'm just like, yeah, I did it.
I did it.
But yeah, most of the time Noah is a lot more happier than I am because I don't really know what's going on or why that's like cool. Because like he'll see like, oh, you will need to do this a little bit more better, and then you'll get a 5-star. I'm like, how do you even know? Like what?
Because we talk about it obsessively on Discord all the time. So much that sometimes our partners complain about how we're constantly checking our phones and our computers to clear those Discord servers where we talk about dance games.
So you have to show off the watch now.
Which watch?
Your watch.
My watch? What
yes,
about my watch?
This thing. It is the bane of my existence sometimes. Because sometimes it will be mid-conversation and then an exciting ping from the dance game server will come up. They'll be like, oh my gosh, look at this thing that just happened. And it's like, we are in the middle of something. you just check your phone in 10 minutes.
You just kind of learn to live with it. Yeah, that happens to Noah too, where we're like eating and then he'll just like stop and he'll like scroll through his phone and then like bring out his thumbs and start typing vigorously. I'm just like, oh, okay, we're doing this now.
Exactly.
I think the only thing you do like that is we'll be like hanging out. It'll be completely silent, just or like playing a game or something. You'll look at your phone and you'll be like, "Woo!" And I'll be like, "What?" And you're like, "Zephyr got this score on this song. That's crazy." I'm like, "What? They're not even here."
See, that's crazy.
And then he'll pull up the video and he'll watch it beginning to end, and he's like,
Support.
This is now just the My Partner Has ADHD podcast. All right, that's a fantastic point to end it. I'm cutting it here. This is it. That's the perfect end. Okay, we gotta shout out everyone and how to see them, how to find them. Catherine, how do we see you? How do we find you? And do we find your lovely wife?
Well, I don't know that she's active on Discord all that much, but she'll occasionally be making guest appearances on my stream here on Twitch every once in a while. And you can find me, I don't know, the easiest way is to use the card draw, ddr.tools, and I make that thing.
Yeah, there'll be a whole episode on that and all the weird techno wizard stuff you do at some point.
Yeah, someday.
We'll be back.
Yeah, I have Discord, but I don't use it because it's confusing.
It's only if you want people to find you. If you don't want people to find you, just shh.
You can find me through Noah.
There you go.
All right, there you go. How do people find you? Shinobi, Lauren, Tony, Shinobi's boyfriend.
Shinobi's boyfriend.
Three trophy Tony.
"Yeah, so Tony three trophies."
Tony 3 trophies. I'm sorry, I got it wrong.
Well, if you want to find Tony, aka Paranoia Boy, I'm legitimately just Paranoia Boy with an I on everything except for Twitch. It's Paranoia_boy because I guess somebody took my name trying to feed me and they ain't even as cool as me, but it's okay, it's fine. Anyways.
I don't stream or anything yet, but I'm in the StepManiaX Discord. My Instagram, I also could not just use Shinobi, so it's Shinowobi.
Oh,
whoa. Twitter's just Shinobi, but yeah. That's it.
That is us. And if you want to actually find us, just play really, really good music outside. I'm just going to go out there and just start dancing like, oh, there he is.
And then I'll be sitting far away waiting for him to finish.
Yep.
Or just go to a really high-level dance game tournament, and you'll find both of those too. They'll be there. I don't think you get found through me. That's how
I'm on the Discord. I don't really.
Yeah, you're
I'm there to understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, you don't show up you're not even on this stream right now. You're visually not even here. Yeah, you can find me at Zephyr Glaze on Twitch or pretty much anywhere. Gosh, thanks for coming on the show, everyone. This was to me a really meaningful topic. So I'm glad I got to have you all here. I'm glad I got to have a little bit of that post-event drop. Just a little bit of an injection to bring me back up from that, because it has been a couple weeks and it was a blast to see you all. And I can't wait to see you all again at the next big tournament we're all at. I can't wait to see the Maniacs at home or wherever they're at work, wherever they're watching this stream or podcast on their phones or wherever. Next month after the next drop. Gosh, that's it. Until then, keep on stepping, Maniacs.
Yeah.
Bye.
Right now.
Bye.